So I know a lot of people have asked me to make a video like this, and I really wasn't going to because I kind of want to wait until more crossovers come out. And then I looked and I was like, dang, we really do get a lot of crossovers in Grand Summoners. So today we are making the Grand Summoners crossover tier list. In all my years of playing Grand Summoners, which ones that I enjoy the most. And we have a lot of ones here, as you can see. Boom. I'm going to be honest with you, there's a lot more than this. I just have them hidden at the moment, but yeah, we have them all here. Trust me, I just couldn't fit them all in like one little box that I did. As always, you guys let me know your list down below in the comment section, from least to greatest or greatest to least, whatever the case may be. And also, yes, I know that for the slime logo, I got the game logo, like the Isekai Memories. A great game, by the way. You all should play it. It's amazing. So let's talk about the tiers. We got the amazing tier. This is the tier that I want to say, not really redefined it, but brought in really strong characters, very fun events. Everybody was loving it. This was like one of the best times to be playing the game. The good category is pretty much not as good as amazing, but still like just really good crossovers, you know? Solid is like crossovers that are like, you know, it is what it is. And then Never Again is, I think we already know what's going to be in this tier. Let's do the first crossover that was in Global. That would be a good starting point, which is Kill la Kill. I'm gonna be honest with you, this crossover ran a few times already, like a lot. I think this is probably the most reran crossover Grand Summoners has ever done. And also, if we're following JP, by the way, the next crossover to come out to Global is Kill la Kill. And I think for one of the first crossovers to come to the game, granted, you know, it did rerun a lot, I think it's probably an amazing crossover. A great example of what a crossover should be. And I don't know if another crossover will hype up the entire community as much as that one did the very first time it came around. Like, think about your favorite game of all time, like the game that you think is the greatest game of all time. It could be a gacha, it could be a console game, a PC game, it doesn't even matter. But you ever get that feeling like, damn, I really wish I could re-experience this all over again, like be completely new to it and get the exact same amount of interest, love, like passion towards this piece of material I did the first time. Next is actually the second crossover that came out to Global, which is none other than One Punch Man. Saitama came out, TT came out, and they were actually the only two crossover characters in the very beginning. We didn't get anyone else. Oh, wait, never mind. We did get Genos. I always forget about Genos. Also, whenever Season 2 came out, was Sonic, Garo, and Fubuki. All of them really strong. I still use Fubuki in a lot of Magic teams. Garo is probably the worst unit from the entire batch next to freaking Genos. And then who was the other one? Sonic. Sonic's just a beast as well. Really strong crit attack. It wasn't an amazing crossover, but I would say OPM was a very good crossover. I did not mind One Punch Man at all. And every time it comes back, I always enjoy it. So I kind of want it to come back because I really want Saitama, but that's just me. Golden Kamui, baby, yes, sir. Golden Kamui, of course, brought Shugimoto and a Serpa to the game. Brought event-exclusive food, which I think was the first time we ever got that. I don't think we had event-exclusive food before that. We may have had the food from Kill la Kill. I don't remember if that was in the beginning or not. But I would say it's about 50-50. I would say it's pretty solid. The equips that it brought were really good, though, I will say. But I wouldn't say, like, the event really did anything to amaze me. This crossover right here, mixed feelings, to say the least. The reason why I have mixed feelings about this, and some of you guys may not know, but whenever Tensura first came out, Tensura was a crossover that brought Bidamaru, Malim, and Rimuru to the game. However, the very first iteration of Slime lasted for 6 months. I am not lying to you. Global had Slime for like 6 months. It may have been less than that, may have been like 4 or 5, but it was around there. It was definitely over 3. And that's why I have such a mixed opinion about it, because I was so sick and tired of that crossover. Dude, I don't even see how I went through all that. Granted, they were releasing all the other stuff too, but I don't even see how I was able to still make content on the game. After it came back, I enjoyed it a little bit more, but not as much as I enjoyed something like Kill la Kill. I think that Slime is probably a solid crossover. Let's do ReZero next. Why not? Really cool stuff. It brought the Garm raid, right? I say that it was the first time that they actually tried to do something different in terms of like adding a raid battle, adding like craftable true weapons. It was also, I think, a guaranteed character ticket as well in this one. So overall, I mean, really solid stuff all around. And also the units could become Luck 120. And to be honest, I'm just gonna put it in good. Let's see. Who do we want to go with next? You know what? Let's go with King of Fighters. So King of Fighters has actually been a crossover in the game on the Japanese version, but this is technically, I think, the first crossover to ever release in Grand Summoners history. And this crossover was just bad. There was no other way to put it. For this to be the first crossover, it didn't have any units, by the way, like no units from King of Fighters. They had an event stage that they got to play for King of Fighters, but that was it. There was nothing new about it. It didn't bring anything new. It didn't breathe any like breath of fresh air into the game. It was just King of Fighters. I do hope that they revisit this and start doing more gaming collabs in the future though, because I would love to get Terry Bogard, Keo, Geese, Iori, like all of them in the game. Goodness, I would love it. I would love it so much. Would they ever do it? Probably not, but I would be really down for a game crossover instead of just anime crossovers all the time. Crossover that JP got that we actually didn't get was Monster Hunter, which I think was the second crossover technically in Japan. This was the first time they ever tried to do themed units. I don't know if you guys have ever seen them, but they had Monster Hunter Reyes, Monster Hunter Roy. Their kits weren't really that great, but they did try to do something different with this one. But I would say I would never want this to come again in the game, or for it to come to global. I don't even think it would be hype anymore unless they buffed up all those units like to an insane level. Let's talk about the last one, the never again category, Godzilla. Good lord, dude, y'all know how much I hate this. I don't need to explain it to y'all. Goblin Slayer was a crossover where I think you could get units to 120. I also think it had a ticket, and it brought with them Goblin Slayer, Priestess, and High Elf Archer. All three pretty solid units. Definitely Priestess being the best just because you support. It was a solid crossover. I wouldn't say Godzilla. I wouldn't say Goblin Slayer was good by any means, but I'd say it was a solid one. Shaman King was our most recent crossover that we actually got in global. I think overall was a good crossover. I don't think that Shaman King was amazing by any means. Whenever it comes back and we're able to maybe 120 luck the units, I may like it a little bit more and possibly push it up into the amazing category, but it was really good. It had some pretty staple units to the game, some pretty solid units. It had like a pretty okay event to it as well. The challenge quest was really fun, or the damage challenge quest. That was a fun time. Rise of the Shield Hero. Oh man, the crossover that I slept on the hardest. I didn't really find anybody from Shield Hero appealing necessarily, but even with that, the event was pretty okay from what I remember. I did bring one of the best free-to-play tanks in the game, which is Naofumi. I think Shield Hero was a solid crossover too. I don't think I'd put it in good because, just my opinion, I didn't really enjoy it too much, but I would say it's pretty solid. It was a really good time for newer players to get into the game and everything else. And you look at this and you're like, huh, are these really all the crossovers, right, OPs? There's something else you're hiding. It is. Possibly the best crossover to come out to the game still to this date is Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho was such an amazing crossover. You know what? I'm putting it above Kill la Kill. I really am. This one changed the game for crossovers and Grand Summoners. The first crossover to have a guaranteed ticket. It was also one of the first crossovers that you were able to luck 120 the crossover units. It also had a lot of events, and just the time frame of Yu Yu Hakusho, it was popping, boys, like literally. If you actually go look on my channel right and you look over any of the Yu Yu Hakusho like summons or showcases or anything like that, like they're all above like 10, 12,000 views. And it was such a good time to get into the game. And I remember thinking about it and I was like, dang, you know, a lot of people are getting into the game right now. A lot of people are really enjoying the game because of Yu Yu Hakusho and everything. I think GS really needs to push the pedal and like just start pumping out stuff left and right to keep these players engaged. But they didn't do that. And a lot of people that played during Yu Yu Hakusho probably quit the game, unfortunately. But that still doesn't discredit the fact that that is probably my favorite crossover that has ever came out to the game. I don't know if I'll ever get another crossover that tops this. The only other crossover that is in my mind that would top something like this would be Soul Eater, JoJo, or maybe Yu-Gi-Oh! So yeah, that is the list. I hope that whenever Jobless Reincarnation comes out, it can make the amazing tier, or at least good. I haven't seen too much about the crossover though, so I'm not for sure, you know, exactly how good it will be. I would have actually recorded this with like Sleepy and everyone else, but I'm kind of running low on time at the moment. So, but yeah, this is your boy OP's tier list. And yeah, that's actually going to be it for this one, man. Thank you all again for coming out. Like I said, please let me know down below in the comment section what were some of your favorite crossovers from Grand Summoners, or let me know what crossover you would like to see the most in Grand Summoners. But that's going to be it for this one. Thank you all again for coming out. It's me, your boy P. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more. And last but not least, you guys already know, don't forget to drink water.